What's up, Milk the Man? Week 14 in the books. We are officially entering playoff week here. Sad to say that 5 of us didn't make it to the playoffs. 7 of us, lucky few, have. Maybe do your own bracket. Figure out who you think has a shot to win it all. I do want to appreciate you all for tuning in week after week. I try to make it as entertaining and as quick as possible. I just want to say I had a blast this season doing these episodes. I do want to say come Tuesday nights, I've been super excited to make these videos for you guys to recap the week and talk smack and just try to add a little bit more fun and try to keep ties with each other. Maybe these videos helps keep this league unique in the myriad of leagues that you're part of. This is the only league that I'm a part of, and so, this is my fantasy football fun. Without you guys, football really has no interest to me. Anyway, just wanted to appreciate you all, and I thank you for appreciating me in watching my videos and putting the spider on the ceiling. Now, let's get into the real business. For the final time here in the 2025 Milk the Man fantasy football season. Best team of the week goes to Vinsanity, scoring a whopping 165. Once again, if there's anybody who can go toe-to-toe with Genty, it's going to be Vinsanity, who yet again takes the best team of the week. This is a surprise. Worst team of the week goes to Tush Push. Playing for his life, he scores a very, very sad 78 points, and he knocks himself out of the playoffs. The Milk the Man award winner for week 14, Vinny. Vinny beating Zombies 165 to 119, milking all over Zombies. It's kind of unfair that Zombies gets milked upon having scored 119, but as it were, you faced Vinsanity, who is hungry for another championship ring, and with that hunger comes an excess of milk as he dumps all of that milk onto Zombies. So let's get into it. Big Bark versus Burrow My Dicker. Burrow My Dicker takes this one 143 to Big Bark's 125. By Monday night's game, he was projected to score less than 120. His kicker scored 22, and his defense scored 13. I got screwed out of a playoff spot because Burrow My Dicker wanted to come at his best when I most needed him to be at his worst. Burrow My Dicker, congratulations to you. You played spoiler. You and I have missed the playoffs. Next, we've got Vinsanity versus Zombie Ate My Neighbors. Of course, Vinsanity takes this one 165 to Zombies 119. Zombies didn't play bad at all, but of course he falls to a 4-10 record, the lowest in the season, finds himself at double digits in the loss column, and Vinsanity, he trucks over Zombies, moves him out of the way as he runs into the playoffs, full steam ahead. When the playoffs begins, everyone starts at 0-0. It's a new season for Vinsanity as much as for anyone else who has started the playoffs. Next, we've got No Pain, No Gain versus Annie Up. Annie Up takes us 126 to No Pain's 106. No Pain didn't show up for this game, so didn't really matter whether you won or lost. You were already in a good standing. Both of you gentlemen, whether or not you face each other again, you'll be in the playoffs, and I'm sure just grateful to be there. Next, we've got Tush Push versus Genty. Genty takes this one surprisingly 116 to Tush Push's 78. I thought for sure Genty was going to go easy on this one. No, Genty does not let it rock. Week after week, Genty has put in his best players, his best team, and it has shown he's come out on top at the end of the regular season at 12-2, smashing Tush Push in the process, knocking him down to 5-9. What can we say, Tush Push? It just was not your year. Next, we've got the Human Torch versus Mud Dogs. The Human Torch takes this one 155 to Mud Dogs 117. The Human Torch scores second most overall for week 14. He also was a dangerous opponent in the playoffs. And last, we've got apparently STDs versus Glass Holes. Apparently takes this one 144 to Glass Holes 125. And yet Glass Holes, being the loser, actually turns out to be the winner because he enters the playoffs nonetheless, based off of a tiebreaker. All right, let's turn our attention here to my board. So I have here written out all of the teams in their correct order and seed. After Genty gets the bye week, next we've got apparently STDs versus Team Annie Up. Then we've got No Pain, No Gain versus Glass Holes. And then we've got the Human Torch versus Vinsanity. Make your predictions however you want to. Starting with seed number 3 versus seed number 4, two closely ranked teams. Apparently STDs versus Team MTM. Apparently coming off of a very high scoring game, scoring 144, having broken a 3-game losing streak. I did not think that he would do that, but he did. Even Lamar Jackson, it came in clutch for Mr. Apparently, scoring 23 points after last week underwhelming at 6 points. You've got Apparently STDs at 8-6. You've got Annie up at 8-6. Annie up on a 2-game win streak. Apparently STDs scoring 144 versus Annie up scoring 126. This is going to be a coin toss, but with Lamar Jackson getting hot here, that's your secret weapon, STDs against Anti-Up. Lamar Jackson is going to take you over to round 2. All right, next we've got No Pain, No Gain versus Glass Holes. Glass Holes making it into the playoffs by the skin of his teeth. And we've got No Pain, who's been part of the playoff picture since the very beginning. He won his first game of the season, then he lost, and then he won. He proceeded to win 4 games in a row. Then he lost 2 games, then he won another 4 games in a row. Then he lost 2 games. Okay, so he's on a 2-game losing skid. Does that really matter? When No Pain needs to turn on the heat, he turns on the heat. It's going to take a lot to break his team. Glass Holes, of course, has a messed up team. His team is like hobbling into the playoffs here. Now, for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and put No Pain over Glass Holes on this one, and No Pain will move on to round 2. And then we've got the Human Torch versus Vinsanity. The Human Torch is, to me, one of the biggest surprises of this season. He lost 2 games in a row. He won 3 in a row, and then he lost and won, and then he lost 2 in a row. And now look at him. He has found himself as seed 5. He has played very, very well the last 5 games of the season. He is 4-1. Vinsanity's team, his season is a puzzle. His record is 7-7. He should be much better than 7-7. The first 6 games, he started off the season 2-4. And then, as of recently, he's on a 3-game win streak. Check out these score totals. 165 in week 14, 142 in week 13, 191 in week 12. I mean, could you beat this guy? Can the Human Torch beat this guy? The past 3 weeks, the Human Torch is at 155 week 14, 135 week 13, 125 week 12. The Human Torch is solid. He scores solid amount of points. But Vinsanity has been otherworldly the past 3 weeks. If he can continue this otherworldly activity, he's going to run past the Human Torch and put out the fire just by the gust of the wind as he passes by. I don't think the Human Torch has enough gas in his propane tank to outshine Vinsanity. So Vinsanity is going to move on to round number 2. So hasta la vista. So there we have it. Round 2. Genty versus Apparently STDs. And then No Pain, No Gain versus Vinsanity. All right, this is going to be fun. Genty versus Apparently STDs. I mean, Genty, seed number 1 in the league, 12-2 record. You're going against Apparently STDs, who is 8-6. Let's see the recent games for Genty here. He won his previous game. He won week 13, scoring 130. He won week 12, scoring 190. He won week 11, scoring 163. Okay, and then he lost week 10, scoring 170. I mean, if you compare him to Vinsanity's beast mode, Genty is beast mode. I mean, double beast mode. Just by the sheer amount of points that Genty can put up seemingly effortlessly, I don't see how there's even a conversation regarding STD staying in the game. So, hey, congrats STD for making it to round 2. That's pretty far. Congrats. You get a pat on the back. But Genty is not going to stop there. He's going to take his bye. He's going to go ahead and take this win as well and take his team over to round 3. And next we've got No Pain, No Gain versus Vinsanity. Seed number 2 versus Vinsanity, seed number 6. I don't think the seeds actually matter in this game. If anybody is going to stop Vinsanity from getting into the championship game, of all the teams besides Genty in the playoffs, is going to be No Pain. No Pain has showed himself to be fierce throughout the entirety of the season. Let's look at how often No Pain has put up at least 140 points this season. That's 6 weeks. 6 weeks out of 14, he's put up at least 140 points. All right, and if we compare that with Vinsanity, of the 14 games this season, Vinsanity has put up at least 140 points 10 times. 10 times out of 14, he's put up at least 142 points the last 5 games of the season. You know what that means? That means No Pain doesn't have a chance. That means if No Pain is going to have a chance, he needs an off week for Vinsanity. And Vinsanity has not had an off week the past 5 weeks in a row. I think that No Pain is going to put up a fight. Unfortunately, it's going to be a far cry from what he needs. I think he's going to be embarrassed, actually, in round 2. And that's going to move Vinsanity convincingly into the championship game. I'm not surprised at all. I thought that Vinsanity had a lot of unfortunate outcomes throughout the season. He lost scoring 148 one week. He lost scoring 135. He lost scoring 144. He lost scoring 147. I mean, this guy took 4 miserable losses. But he never called it quits. He continued to go to the waiver wire. He continued to make trades. And he continued to believe in his team. Genty has never faced any adversity. It's been fairly easy for him. Vinsanity has faced so much adversity. Genty has just eaten the fruit of having picked an incredible team from the very beginning, and Vinsanity has had to fight tooth and nail for this. It is a story of the didn't have to try it all versus the try hard. Will Genty, who has impressed and amazed us all, lose the championship game to Vinsanity, who at one point was the most unluckiest team in the league, now having the luckiest streak in the league? I think this actually is going to be the best and the highest scoring championship game in Milk the Man history. I do think, however, that Genty, having been so super consistent this year, is going to continue his story of success. He's going to continue his effortless reign, and he is going to be crowned the Milk the Man champion of 2025. So if there's any team that can beat Genty, it's going to be Vinsanity. So this is the championship game that you want. There it is. Again, I just want to thank you guys for sticking in throughout the season with me, watching these videos. It might only be a 5-10 minute video, but these sometimes take 2.5 hours to make. But I've enjoyed putting in the work, enjoyed the games this Sunday, enjoyed the playoffs, and there may be one more video that comes out after it is all said and done to give accolades to every single team that participated this year, and that will be a video with Danny De La Cruz and Vinny, of course, our commissioners. Gentlemen, it's been a fantastic season. Thanks for watching.